This is a quick little how-to on how to do crow pose. It's one of the most common things that students come to me in class and they're like, I just can't find balance, or like, how on earth are your knees meant to like stay on your arms? So this is my little quick how-to guide on how to do crow pose. Okay. So first thing to remember is that there are three ways of which you can do crow pose. Okay. The first and the most common way, quite often we call it frog, is when your knees are on the outside. Yeah. So you can see my knees are on the outside of my arms. You then squeeze the knees in, hands flat on the ground, shoulder width apart. Shift the weight forward, come up onto the toes. Squeeze the knees in, and then come down. Quite often people have got straighter arms or bent arms, but you're just squeezing in basically, and you come back down. Okay, that is number one way, and that way is really good to help build strength in the arms, in the hands, in the fingertips, squeezing your inner abductors, lifting up from the core. Like, it's a really good strength way of practicing crow. But in terms of progression onto other arm balances, it's not necessarily going to get you any further. But I'm not knocking it. It's still a good one to do. Okay, so the other one, which is the most common that I see, it's the way that I was taught as well when I first started doing yoga. But you get a lot of bruises. So that's when your knees are just like on your triceps basically, and there's not too much emphasis on like having the arms straight, and the knees are basically there, and you're really having to squeeze in, really having to lift up, and it hurts. You're on your triceps and you're like, ow, I'm wobbling, my knees are going off my triceps, and you come back down. It's not a very fun way. It's the most common way, and the reason why is because the progression from crow is to then come up into crane, which is when your knees are right up into your armpits. And that's all about core, and that is a progression from crow. Like, to be able, like, I've only just been able to do it, and I'm like, it's taken me nearly 2 years, you know? When your knees are right up into the armpits, you've got to lean right forward, you've got to be planched, you've got to have wrist strength, you've got to lift up. And even now, I can only just do it. So that is a progression. So the reason why people do crow with their knees on their triceps is partly because they're trying to do crow and the knees slip down. Okay. But the way that I was taught through Dylan Warner is a really good way in terms of progression. Your elbows, your arms are at a 90-degree angle, so they're in chaturanga arms, which makes doing chaturanga suddenly all more exciting, because chaturanga is no longer a painful, horrendous thing that you get made to do in every yoga class. It's actually a stepping stone to be able to do some seriously cool arm balances that make you feel amazing. So we love chaturanga. So this process, hands down, okay? You then bring your knees directly above your elbows, directly above, okay? Come up onto the toes, and what you want to do, you keep your knees above your elbows, but you lower the chest down. So my knees are now on a shelf that I have created, okay? But I'm not at a 90-degree angle yet. So I've got to look forward to this. You then come forward, come up onto the toes, keep looking forward, lift up through the chest, press the fingertips down, and it's like a seesaw. Your legs just come up. Lifting up through the chest, top of the thighs, engaging the core. Alright, so they are the three ways of doing crow. That 90-degree angle in the arm, getting that shelf, really key. It was the hardest part for me to get when learning crow, was finding that shelf. Everyone else in my yoga teacher training was like finding it really quickly, and I'm there like, yeah, my knees just kept on slipping off my elbows. Like, found it really difficult. But once you find it, it's like a shelf, and suddenly it's a counterbalancer. Because you've got your position, you just counterbalance it. If anyone has any more questions about crow, send me a message. I'll be happy to talk to you.